Welcome to Law Days and Lattes, the podcast where we blend the world of law and business with a warm cup of information and common sense. I'm your host, Sidney Wheelan, attorney, real estate investor, and business owner. Each week, we'll be your go-to source for legal insights, business advice, and so much more. Whether you're a seasoned professional, an ambitious entrepreneur, or simply someone seeking guidance, we'll have you covered. From navigating the legal landscape to empowering you with valuable business strategies, we'll explore the legal side of life and enjoy a virtual latte along the way. So, grab your favorite latte, get comfortable, and let's dive into Law Days and Lattes. Welcome back to Law Days and Lattes, sponsored by the Wheelan law firm of Moberly, Missouri, your one-stop shop for issues affecting your family and your business. This is episode 3 in our podcast series, Financially Fearless, Legal Strategies for Women to Secure Their Future. I'm your host, Sidney Wheelan, and today we are diving into an important yet often overlooked topic, protecting your assets during life transitions. Although we're directing this series to our lady listeners, gentlemen, please don't tune out because there's a lot of information in here that's important for you as well. Life transitions. What is this woman talking about anyway? I'm talking about major life events, such as marriage, divorce, the loss of a loved one, or even starting a family, things that affect us financially. We look forward to some of these events with happy anticipation. Other times, we feel like we've been slapped over the head and didn't even see it coming. While these changes can bring growth and new opportunities, even the happiest of transitions can put your financial health and security at risk if you're not prepared. In this episode, we'll explore the key legal steps you need to take to safeguard your assets and protect your future. Let's get started. Segment 1. Why life transitions require financial vigilance. Life transitions often involve emotional and logistical challenges which can significantly impact our finances. Consider these scenarios. A woman marries without a prenuptial agreement and later faces a divorce that leaves her financially strained, maybe without a home and sometimes without access to bank accounts or other assets. Or a partner unexpectedly passes away and the surviving spouse discovers she doesn't have access to critical accounts or assets. Or worse, doesn't have a clue about the family finances or the family business. Or maybe it's a single mother that doesn't name a guardian in her will, leaving her children's future uncertain. These situations aren't uncommon, but they are preventable. Preparing in advance allows you to protect your assets and avoid financial upheaval during already challenging times. The second segment I want to speak about are legal strategies during these different life transitions. Let's break down these key legal strategies for 3 common life transitions. First, marriage. Let's talk about prenuptial agreements. As an attorney, I've heard all of the excuses for not seeking a prenuptial agreement before you tie that knot. Talking about finances isn't necessarily a sexy topic, but it is a necessary one. It's practical. It defines how assets and debts will be handled both during the marriage and in the event of a divorce. You are preparing to spend the rest of your life with this person. Think of this as your financial partnership agreement. Pro tip here, even if you don't have significant assets now, consider future potential assets like inheritances, businesses, or career growth. And if you're already married, it's not too late. Post-nuptial agreements or agreements after the marriage can address new financial circumstances, like starting a business or receiving an inheritance. And while we are talking about an inheritance, I want to make a point to talk about this topic of how to take ownership of inherited property. Did you know that in Missouri, typically, property or other assets that you inherit from your parents or other family members is your separate property, not subject to division by the court if you are getting a divorce? Yes, that's right. Even if you are married when you receive your inheritance, the court will not treat this as marital property that has to be divided up with your divorcing spouse. There is one big exception to this rule, and I want you to pay close attention. If you add your spouse's name to that property, such as adding your spouse's name to the deed or adding your spouse's name to that inherited bank account, you have now commingled the assets with marital assets, and the divorce court could award half of the value of that inherited property to the other spouse. Not what you want to happen. Let's talk about divorce for a minute. Not a happy topic, but unfortunately, it is something that we have to think about. I want to talk about the asset inventory. Before even starting divorce proceedings, make a list of all marital and personal assets, including your bank accounts, your properties, and your investments. Hiring an experienced divorce attorney is essential to ensure fair asset division and advocate for your financial interest. This is particularly important if children are involved. And your retirement accounts. Remember, retirement accounts are often part of asset division. Ensure that the division is handled through a qualified domestic relations order. Your experienced divorce attorney will be able to talk to you about that and explain how that is handled. Another tip: if you are the spouse considering dissolving your marriage, set up that first consultation with the divorce attorney as soon as possible. And by this, I do not necessarily mean hurry up and file for divorce. Not at all. In this podcast episode, we are talking about getting your finances in order, and a dissolution of marriage can have a huge impact on your finances. You should be prepared to talk about some of your options before you decide to divorce and how to best prepare yourself financially if you do end up divorcing. The third life transition I want to talk about today is the loss of a partner. Certainly not something we want to think about, but something we should consider so that we are not forced to make major financial decisions in the midst of life-altering and often devastating life events. Estate planning. This is where a little advanced planning can put your mind at ease when unfortunate or unexpected events turn your world upside down. Do your part now to ensure your estate plan is up to date, including a will, a trust, beneficiary designations, and durable powers of attorney for business purposes and for health care. Serious illness or death can catch us off guard, but when we have taken the opportunity to think about what we would want ahead of time, then it makes those serious events a little less daunting for us and for our family and loved ones. While you're thinking about estate planning, take time to check your bank and investment accounts. If accounts are solely in one person's name, it can create financial strain on the survivors if those accounts are not accessible for ongoing expenses or those accounts are tied up in probate court. Placing accounts into a trust or adding payable on death designations can help. Please talk to your attorney or financial advisor to determine the best way to handle those accounts. Next, life insurance. Review your life insurance policies to ensure adequate coverage for your needs. And double-check the beneficiary designations. If you don't name beneficiaries, Or if your beneficiaries predecease you, your life insurance proceeds could end up in probate court and not readily available for your loved ones. No matter the life transition, these legal documents are essential to protect your assets and ensure your wishes are followed. First, the will. It designates how your assets will be distributed and names a guardian for your minor children. But remember, a will alone will not avoid probate. Please talk to your estate planning attorney to help you with other documents that you may need. Consider other documents such as a trust. This helps to avoid probate and provides greater control over how your assets are distributed. A tip here. A revocable living trust is especially useful for families with complex financial situations. And it's completely private. You can change any of the provisions at any time. It's very flexible, allowing you complete control over your assets and the distribution of those assets. The next documents I want you to consider are powers of attorney. With this document, you can appoint someone to manage your financial affairs if you become unable to do so. The second type of a durable power of attorney is for health care. This ensures your medical wishes are honored and a trusted individual makes decisions on your behalf. Do you have thoughts about whether or not you would want to be kept on life support? Most of us have an opinion about this and other end-of-life decisions. A well-drafted medical power of attorney can put your mind at ease and ensure that your wishes can be carried out, even if you are not able to convey those instructions at the time. And we've talked a little bit about beneficiary designations. Keep these updated for your retirement accounts, your insurance policies, and other payable on death bank or investment accounts. Sometimes you can even transfer your real estate by beneficiary designations. So, what are some action steps you can take? Well, take time this week to review these documents or make that appointment with your lawyer to start creating those documents if you haven't already. And start building your support system. Remember, navigating life transitions is easier when you have a strong support system. Here's how to build yours. First, legal counsel. Work with an attorney experienced in estate planning, family law, or business law, depending on your needs. Sometimes your lawyer will offer a free or reduced consultation fee so that you can talk through some of these issues to help you determine what documents you actually need for your particular situation. A financial advisor. Take time today to consult or at least call and schedule an appointment with a financial planner to ensure that your financial goals align with your life circumstances. And next, seek advice from others who have navigated similar transitions, such as trusted friends or mentors. Their insights can be invaluable. Don't wait until a crisis to build your team. Being proactive gives you more options and more control. Let's talk about a couple of real-life examples and some lessons that some of my clients have learned. Example 1. A divorce without a prenup. It happens all of the time. First, let's talk about Emily, a small business owner. Didn't have a prenuptial agreement when she married. Didn't think she needed one. But during her divorce, her business was considered marital property, and she had to sell part of that business to settle the division of assets. A prenup could have protected her business and clarified the asset division. Example 2. Unfortunately, I see this a lot. Loss of a partner without estate planning in place. Maria's husband passed away without a will. Because his name was the only person on the house deed, Maria had to go through probate to retain ownership of her own home, an expensive and stressful process. An updated will or a trust could have streamlined the process and avoided probate. Some final thoughts. Life transitions can be challenging, but with the right legal strategies, they don't have to derail your financial future. Remember, preparing in advance is an act of empowerment and self-care. So here's your challenge for this week. If you are married or thinking about getting married, start a conversation with your partner about prenuptial or postnuptial agreements. Whether you are single or in a relationship, review your will, your trust, or your beneficiary designations to ensure that they reflect your current wishes. Next week, join me for episode 4, The Business of You, Building Wealth Through Entrepreneurship. We'll discuss how to protect yourself legally while building your business empire. Thank you for tuning in to Law Days and Lattes, and the third in our series entitled Financially Fearless, dedicated to our women listeners. If you have found this episode helpful, please subscribe and leave a review, and share it with someone you care about. Remember, life transitions, even happy ones, such as marriage or starting a family, can and do affect us financially. With a little knowledge and confidence, you can negotiate your way through these transitions successfully. If you have found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who need to hear this message. And as always, we're here to help you make financially smart decisions, one podcast at a time. Together, we can all become financially fearless. If you have questions or want us to tackle a specific topic, reach out to us on social media. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and as always, my friends, grab your favorite latte, hold your loved ones tight, and have a great week.
This podcast episode contains general information for discussion purposes only. Each case is different and must be judged on its own merits. Missouri rules generally prohibit lawyers from advertising that they specialize in particular areas of the law. This show should not be construed to suggest such specialization. Nothing on this show should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create an attorney-client relationship, and the listening or viewing of this podcast does not constitute an attorney-client relationship. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.